Have you heard this song from Initial D? Did you know that it's a cover, and this is the original song? Wings of fire go back to shine as it did when you let them. The mastermind behind Wings of Fire is not as well known as someone like Dave Rogers, but I'd argue that he should be. Allow me to introduce you to Nick Festari, one of the greatest Eurobeat producers of all time. Nick Festari, real name Roberto Festari, is an Italian music producer and vocalist most known for his work in the Eurobeat genre. Aside from Wings of Fire, Nick has also had several hits with the para dancing community. These include Bazooka Man, Bandolero Comanchero, and Ganguro. Nick's career began with him playing music at church and in a local choir band. In his parish, he met Claudio Acatino and Federico Rimonti. They owned a recording studio called Live Music, and they thought Nick was pretty talented and asked if he wanted to join them. He accepted and began working at Live Music, mostly recording demos for clients. Then, in 1987, the trio would find work arranging songs for labels Time Records and Sci-Fam. This would mark the beginning of Nick's career in Eurobeat. By 1993, Nick was writing the melodies to several Eurobeat songs. Live Music would form their own Eurobeat label in 1994 called High Energy Attack, with Nick writing melodies and arrangements. Nick's style was very unique, so when it was time for Avex to distribute their music, they would be put on a brand new Eurobeat compilation series called Eurobeat Flash, rather than Super Eurobeat. This new compilation was for Eurobeat with a non-standard sound. The first volumes of Eurobeat Flash sold incredibly well. Many fans loved High Energy Attack in these albums, and that was largely thanks to Nick Festari. By the late 90s, the amount of work he did for High Energy Attack increased. Not only did he write melodies, but now he also wrote lyrics and sang a good chunk of the label's male songs. Of course, Nick did have certain directions from Claudio Acatino and Federico Rimonti, but Nick was mostly the creative side of High Energy Attack, while they were mostly the technical side. Nick stayed at High Energy Attack until 2013, producing over 750 songs for the label, singing around 130 of them himself. But while he loved Eurobeat, he wanted to explore other genres as a solo artist. His solo career away from High Energy Attack began in 2015, when he would release a pop EP. This greatly deviated away from the genre his fans knew him best for, but it still had a very positive critical reception overall. Despite leaving to explore other genres, Nick realized that Eurobeat is where he belonged. He would return to Eurobeat in 2017 with a song under Delta Music Industry before unveiling his own solo label Nick the Beat, after the official end of the mainline Super Eurobeat series.
Call me through the night or in the morning. You wanna call me anytime you hear me.
Nick the Beat was the first time Nick was able to create Eurobeat completely unrestrained under his own vision. Because of this, many of his fans consider it his greatest work, but it was unfortunately not as successful as he had hoped. So when a fan approached him with a crazy idea in 2019, Nick decided to take a chance on something more ambitious. This fan was Mandy Energy, one of the only Eurobeat YouTubers. She had an idea for a song that would essentially be a love letter to the genre itself. It was a massive collaboration of both artists and fans alike, with Nick as the head producer. This song was called Let's Make a Song About Eurobeat, and when it was released in early 2021, it was a huge hit among Eurobeat fans. Let's Make a Song About Eurobeat would be the final song in the Nick the Beat catalog. Because of its success, Nick would keep Mandy on his team and form a new label with her called Hybrid Mix. The only label of its kind in Eurobeat, Hybrid gets its name from being a hybrid of the vision of a professional producer and a fan. It made its official debut in the Best of Super Eurobeat 2021, and is Nick's current active label. Nick Festari is a crazy talented producer who is just as important to Eurobeat as some of its most prestigious artists. He has an impressive catalog under his belt and is a huge inspiration to many aspiring indie producers. So with all this being said, why is he so unpopular? The truth is he isn't, at least not to the older generation of Eurobeat fans, but Wings of Fire was his only song to be featured in the Initial D anime, so the new fans coming in from there simply haven't been exposed to his music, and it's unfortunate because he has the aggressive sound that many Initial D fans love. This is why if you enjoy Eurobeat, you shouldn't limit yourself to the Initial D soundtrack, because you miss out on the unbelievable work of producers like Nick Festari.